So at the minimum, at 2 we will find comfort that it is Finance Minister Gordhan delivering that seminal statement. More broadly, to the extent that the sovereign credit standing will hinge on the promise, and the credible promise, that we can maintain fiscal consolidation is uppermost in many analysts' minds, and I think the Finance Minister will be able to deliver on that commitment. How will he be able to fill the substantial void in terms of the additional tax requirement? He's going to have to be further creative, but at the same time, I think, use well-worn methods. So personal income tax is going to be under the radar. He will use a combination of bracket creep and likely raising marginal tax rate to be able to bring in that harvest. The usual beverage and tobacco taxes, as well as fuel taxes, will be elements for him to pursue vigorously as well. I think that he will probably find some comfort that corporate income tax, aided by the buoyancy in mining sector revenues, will give him some lumpy last hour revenue lifts that he didn't quite anticipate perhaps a few months ago, helping to close the gap. But unambiguously, he will have to show that over the next 2 to 3 years, the fiscal shortfall will narrow to beneath 3%. And unlike the last few years where there's been fiscal slippage in terms of the debt to GDP ratio, he will now have to show that indebtedness is stabilizing. I think we're running out of road in terms of the trust factor. Not that people don't trust the finance minister, but the finance minister's capacity to be able to create a mosaic that holds is becoming difficult in a weak growth environment, and also where he's internally pressured and populace pressured to be more liberal with his fiscal levers than the country can afford. The rating agencies are almost obliged to make a decision in 2017 with respect to our credit standing. We are in the transit station. When you're on negative watch, you are effectively waiting for a final verdict, and that final verdict either returns you to stable outlook or you subordinate to negative watch. So a decision has to be made either way in 2017, and we think it hangs on a knife edge. The market implied suggestion is that there is a slightly better than even odds chance that we will actually be downgraded. But I think while that event is still to occur, possibly in November or even in June through S&P's diary, we still have an occasion to deliver. So sensible and pragmatic and contributory budget, as well as the various initiatives, for example, the minimum wage, and just a general sense of social compact between business, labor, and government, will all play to potentially averting that downgrade. So I think there's still time to play for, and there's play to be had, especially with the social compact between the various entities.
Do you think that there's anything that Minister Pravin Gordhan can do in his budget speech to possibly potentially delay a downgrade again? I mean, it seems like he managed to do that last year.
So there isn't a silver bullet, and it isn't up to either one individual or one policy proposal that can be the overarching rescue measure. It requires a sense of stability from labor and a partnership with business. It requires business to become far more socially conscious and also contributing to South Africa's growth dynamic with a transformation flavor. It requires government in its broader sense, beyond just the National Treasury, to be stability seeking, to be enhancing a sense of secure property rights in South Africa, and effectively the various ministries encouraging policy stability rather than malfeasance or policy unpredictability. So it's a multiple and multi-pronged process with various actors, some more important than others. Clearly, Finance Minister Gordhan and the budget are in the top tier of stabilizing forces, and I think he will continue to hold sway as he has thus far.